Guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sakshi, and in this video I'm going to be talking about breastfeeding 101. Literally this video, I wish I had watched a video like this before actually giving birth, because my breastfeeding journey was not smooth. It took me literally 3 months to figure out my way of feeding, to figure out all the things that I was struggling with and actually fix those things and get really comfortable about my feeding journey. So, this video I am literally sharing with you based on my experience of feeding my 1 year old. And I must tell you that I had an emergency C-section. I've talked about this in multiple videos, and I had a deep tissue stretch. So after giving birth, I had a problem in my lower back. So turning, feeding, getting up, sitting down, all of these things were extremely challenging. So based on all of these things, I am sharing what worked for me and things I wish I knew earlier, so that initial 3 months would have been much easier for me, right? So if that's you, if you're about to give birth, or if you're struggling with your whole breastfeeding journey, make sure you watch this video till the end. And if you enjoyed it, if you found it helpful, please sure to give it a like and subscribe to my channel, and maybe comment down below, because these type of activities, the liking, subscribing, commenting, really helps in pushing the videos forward. All right, if you see me seeing down, that means I'm looking at my son sleeping on this thing. So he's sleeping on our bed. So I'm just seeing on the camera that he's fine and perfect. So you know why I'm looking down there again and again. And of course, as always, I have my notes with me, because as I'm going through things, I always write everything in detail so I don't miss out any information. So without being said, let's dive into all the goods. Number one, which is extremely important in your breastfeeding journey, which is really get comfortable, meaning that find a comfortable position to actually feed your child. Meaning, when I gave birth, I had so much pain in my lower area, obviously, and I also had pain in my back because of deep tissue stretch, and also I have a minor back problem already. So all of these three combined really resulted in lots and lots of uncomfort and pain. So finding a good position was very important to me. So what I did was, I would sit on my bed like this with tons of pillows behind me, really fluffy pillows, and would feed my son like this, right? Because sitting like this was not possible for me, because if I sit straight, my back would hurt a lot, right? This worked for me. Another thing that really worked for me was lying at the side and feed my son from the boob. Like, I would have my hand like this and one hand like this on my son, and I would feed to him from here. Having these two positions worked really well for me, and I figured out that these positions are working for me because I tried and tested tons of positions, right? I tried sitting straight, I tried, I don't know, maybe crossing my legs and then sitting straight, like sitting on chair. Lots of things I tried, and based on all these things, these two positions worked really well for me. And also note that I have major back problem, right? Major. So having these two positions were really comfortable on my lower back, right? So that was the first thing, is really get comfortable in what position works well for you. Finding a good position can really make or break your whole feeding experience. It's really important that you figure out what position works the best for you. The second thing is a proper latch. I'll tell you a small 1 minute story. In hospital, initial 3 days, I was feeding my son for 1 hour, 2 hours straight, non-stop. And the moment I would take my boob out of his mouth, he would start crying. And I just wouldn't understand, why is he crying so much? I've been feeding him since 1 year, since 1 hour and 2 hours, and I just wouldn't understand. I talked to so many like midwives there, and everyone said he's just hungry, give him like formula. But then I was like, my milk is coming so smoothly. And because from day zero, like the moment I gave birth, after within 1 hour my milk started to come and the flow was really good. So I was like, why is this happening? Like, he's feeding, I can feel him latch, and it was painful, right? I told this to everyone. What they did was they gave me a silicon nipple. I'll insert a picture of this somewhere here, or even you can Google. There's a silicon nipple that comes. It's like there's a square and there is a like a nipple going from there. So it's transparent silicon nipple that has a hole in front, and you put it on your like the nipple area. The child will suck it, right? So the idea of giving that silicon nipple to my baby was that to improve his latch so that he sucks more, because as per the midwives in the hospital, my nipple area was too small for him to suck, and that's why it was painful. Had he had taken like a good amount of boob in his mouth, it would not hurt. And I was like, okay, let's introduce silicone nipple. I gave a go ahead because obviously I didn't know what other ways are around. We introduced silicone nipple. Still, he would suck for hours, and still it would pain so much. And I literally couldn't do anything. So on third day, I literally gave up because it was so painful. My nipples had cracks. It was bleeding. It was a whole blood show. Long story short. So after 3 days, I introduced him formula, although how sad I was feeling, but then my baby was hungry. I had to do it, right? And I was feeling non-stop in all the pain that I was going through. Then on fourth day, I came home. And that's when my personal midwife that I had assigned started to come at my home. She looked at everything that I was doing and she just literally told me, why are you giving him silicone nipple? And I told her, like, this is what happened in hospital and this is what the midwives in hospital gave me. She and me worked together to actually remove the silicone nipple from the whole breastfeeding process throughout and get his latch proper. You guys, it literally took me just 2 days for him to get used to my breast without any third thing in between, second thing in between, that was the silicone nipple. Literally took me 2 days, and also took me another like the same 2 days to actually get him a proper latch. And what I would do is, I would, if he suck on my boob and if it would hurt me, that simply means that he is not doing the latch properly. And what I would do is, I would simply put my finger between his lips and my boob. I would like unlatch him, and then I would press my boob and shove it in his mouth. This is literally how you have to do to improve the latch of the baby. Number one, breastfeeding is not supposed to be hurtful. Number two, your breast should not, like the nipples, should not bleed or should not have cracks or anything of that sort. So, any of these two things are happening, that means the latch is not good and you need to improve the latch. And the only way to improve the latch is by unlatching and pressing your boob and putting it inside the mouth of the baby. And if the baby is not opening the mouth properly, just like touch your boob on his lower lip or the upper lip. Mostly it works on the lower lip, and he will open the mouth, because this is what happened in my case as well. He was not opening the mouth. So we would touch my boob on his lower lip with some milk. I would hand express some milk, and I would like, he would open his mouth and I would quickly put my boob inside his mouth. Literally, you guys, latch is so important. If you're having pain, if your boobs, nipples have cracks or anything, work on getting a good latch. This is the only thing that you need to do in order to get comfortable, right? Let's talk about the third thing. Let your baby set the pace. This is so important because people think that your baby will feed for 15 minutes and then he will be full and then he won't need any milk for another 2 hours. And no matter how true it is for some cases it's very untrue. Babies need their own pace, need to develop their own pace, they need to develop their own way of drinking before they actually fix to a schedule, right? So give your baby a month and a half to get on their own pace, to actually have a full tummy through your breast, and also have that schedule that okay, 2 hours have passed, now it's time to get milk. And or maybe you can say like, no, you just had a tummy full, so we will wait another half an hour for 2 hours to complete, right? But to get that pace, you have to let baby do his or her thing, right? Having baby set his own pace is very important, because then baby will understand that okay, I need to drink as much as possible right now, because after that the time increases. Babies are very smart, we underestimate them, but they are very smart in understanding all the patterns that they are going through. Don't force them to finish the entire breast, or don't force them to leave the breast because they have been sucking for 20 minutes. Just let them do their thing, let them build their own pace. The fourth thing is switch sides. Now, I am an exceptional, and I think 1 or 2% of the ladies fall in this category where the milk come only from one boob and the other one is dry. So if you are in that category, I feel you. It's hard. I completely hear you. You feel seen. I feel seen. I know this. But if you are on the other side, which is more glorious side, then your milk is coming from both the sides, right? If your milk is coming from one side, I just want to say it out loud that it is totally normal. There is nothing wrong. It just happens. After delivery, my milk was coming from both the breast. I tried pumping, I tried everything under the sun, hand expressing, because my midwife said the more milk you get out of this breast you will get used to producing more milk. I tried so much. I would extra feed my son from this breast, but still milk did not come, or even the milk that came was hardly 10 drops. Like, I would see that milk is coming, there are a few drops coming out, but then when my baby would start drinking, he would cry. Like, he would unlatch, he would cry, then he would latch, then he would cry. And then I realized, because the milk is not coming, it was coming initially like 10 drops, 15 drops, 20 drops, but then it would eventually dry out. So I switched to this one completely after 3 months. I tried hard for 3 months. And guys, this is completely normal if one of your breasts is dry. That being said, if you have milk coming from both the sides, which is in most of the cases, switch sides, because then your boobs will get extremely full. You will leak a lot if you're not switching the sides, and it's important. And one of the really cool hacks that I did initially when my both the breasts were producing equal milk is that I would just feed my son from this one, and then I would forget, like, okay, which was the breast that I fed him from, and then I would forget and I would again feed him from this one. So after a point, I was like, there should be a better way. So what I did was I just simply took a hair tie and I just put it on my wrist. Like, for example, if I fed him from here, and now I know next I have to feed him from here, so I will just put a hair tie and then I would remember I have to feed him from here. Simple hack, right? There is no technology involved, no extra step involved, nothing. Once you feed him, you put the band on the other hand. Like, okay, I fed him from this side, now next turn will be from here. This hack saved my life in starting. Saved my boobs in starting, in fact. But anyway, you get the idea. It's simple things like this that makes your life easier. And the point is, have them fed from both the sides. And number two, in this category only, if your boobs are leaking a lot, use like a pads. There are nursing pads you get on Amazon. You leak in initial 4 months or 5 months max. After that, your leaking stops. So I have thrown away and passed away all my nursing pads, but nursing pads were extremely crucial for me in starting days because I would leak all the time. My t-shirts were ruined, my bras were ruined, my everything was ruined. Like I would have spots all over me all the time. So if you're leaking, it's completely normal. It will settle after a few months, but nursing pads are your friends in those days. And also switching sides also help in balancing milk on each boob so you leak a limit amount. Number five is stay hydrated as much as possible. Staying hydrated is so crucial because your breast milk is, I think, 70 or 80% water. So imagine you're feeding 12 hours around the clock in initial phase. Obviously, it reduces after a while, but imagine feeding your child 6 times or 12 times a day and getting all that liquid out of your body. You will feel dizzy all the time. You will feel exhausted and tired all the time if you are not hydrated. So drink at least 3 liters of water. I know going to washroom is extremely challenging when all of those things are happening, when you have stitches down there, when there is a show going on down there. I can totally imagine, but drinking water is absolutely important in starting days. So stay hydrated because your baby needs breast milk, and if you're not hydrated enough, your breast milk production will also get impacted. So hydration is important for you, it's important for your baby, and it's also results in a glowy skin. So hydration is the key. We are on point number six, which is nurse frequently. As I said in my previous point, which is you feed your baby 12 times a day, every 2 hours. So it's hard and challenging. I completely understand. But then you also have to understand that initially your breast milk production depends on demand versus supply formula, right? For example, if your demand is high, the supply will also be high. So you have to get that milk out of your body for your body to know that there is high demand so that the supply, the production is also high. So initial 3 to 4 months, you have to feed your son or your daughter for at least 8 to 10 times or 12 times, in my case, how it happened, throughout the day. It's extremely hard, but then it is very important for your body to know that there is a demand, so you gotta produce more milk so that your child is fed completely. So nurse frequently or pump frequently, whatever you're doing, but it is very important that you do, right? All right, let's talk about point number seven, which is seeking support. It is like, I don't know what I would have done if I hadn't been so vocal about the support I needed. I was very vocal about the support I needed, and I just want to say it out loud that don't be afraid in asking support from whoever you need. You want a glass of water, don't get up. There is a lot on you going already. Ask your husband, ask your family members, your friend, whoever is there around you, ask them to get you a glass of water. Ask them to get you that nursing pad, that nursing pillow if it's far away. Literally, you guys, these small things make a lot of difference. And don't feel sorry for asking these small things in starting, because you're already going through so many things. Other thing when I say of seeking support is that I went to a lactation consultant, right? Because my baby was not getting the latch properly, and even when I tried pumping, my milk would come only like 60 ml after pumping for 1 hour, and I would feel my breast heavy and my breast would leak all the time. So not getting the milk in the bottle was extremely confusing to me. So I went to a lactation consultant and she guided me through the whole process. She heard what I was doing and she guided me in the whole process. For pumping, I will make a separate video, so make sure you subscribe to this channel, because next video is all about my pumping experience and why I switched to breastfeeding. And if I was doing pumping full time, like properly, like the only pumping thing, how I would have done it differently now that I'm on the other side. So subscribe for that video. But anyway, I asked for the support from the lactation consultant. I researched a lot. I watched YouTube videos. I asked my husband to watch some YouTube videos. I talked to friends. I was in a lot of Facebook groups in the communities that are out there, the breastfeeding support groups, the pumping support groups, the new mama support groups. Guys, these support groups are so helpful. So raise your hands in these groups and ask questions, seek support, and just feel supported. It's really important in your starting journey, right? Point number 7, which is use of pacifiers. So my midwife actually gave me this point that we introduced the pacifier to our baby in very early stage, and she said that we should not let him get the pacifier till the time he is extremely like good with the whole breastfeeding thing. His latch is good, he's drinking well, his tummy is full, he's not crying every 40 minutes for milk or 20 minutes or 30 minutes, whatever. And the reason is that when you introduce pacifiers to baby in very early stage, like 1 week or 2 week old baby, they get confused between the boob and the pacifier. And if you introduce bottle as well, like we did, we gave him formula from the third day itself, even though I was breastfeeding. So the baby gets really confused. Like, imagine it's just a 2 week old baby, and he has to figure out that this is a breast, so I'm supposed to suck. This is a bottle, so milk will automatically come. I just have to drink it. And this is a pacifier. I just have to enjoy it. It was soothing. Imagine all the things that baby has to figure out in just 2 weeks old age, right? So here's the advice: do not introduce pacifier till your baby is super comfortable with the whole breastfeeding experience, right? Just wanted to say it out loud. All right. Keep a baby log. This is also very important point. Point number 8 is that keep a log of your baby's feeding, of the diapers, of everything, because a log will tell you that what time he's getting all the feeds, and that way it becomes a pattern. And that way you will know on the 5th day, if you keep a log for 4 days, that okay, he's crying right now, so it's not gas, it's not diaper, it's his drinking time, right? Because babies love a good schedule. They have a schedule from day one. It's just that we don't know, right? So if you keep a log, it will help you so much in figuring out why your baby is crying, rather than trying tens of different things and finding the reason of your baby's cry, right? Keep a log. And I used a tracker, like there was an online tracker, I think baby tracker, I don't remember the name. I will put it somewhere on the screen here or in the description box, so make sure you check it out, of the app that I use um, to track all the things for my baby. I use that app to track my water, my boobs before I had this rubber band trick. I used it to track his diaper change, his how many potties he did. Like I track everything in that one particular app. So it was really nice app. Make sure you check the description. I will link that app below, and it was very helpful. If you keep a track of when your baby is sleeping, when your baby is getting like is waking up, when he's doing potty, like literally after 5 to 7 days your life will become so easy, because then you will know just by seeing the log that hey, this is a pattern and your baby is doing the same thing every day at this particular time. So you would know like, okay, it's 7 p.m., so he's sleepy. He's not crying because of hunger, he's crying because he's sleepy, right? So these things really help you out. And my final point in this breastfeeding video is about doing skin to skin. So when I went to the lactation consultant and I told her what I was trying to do, she just asked me, have I done skin to skin enough? Skin to skin, if you don't know, it literally means having your baby naked. You are also naked, like obviously you have your lowers on you, but the upper body of you and your baby is naked, so that and you have your baby on your chest and you're just lying in the blanket doing nothing, just hugging your baby and spending time with your baby naked under the blanket. And what it does is it produces oxytocin in your body, which is a feel good hormone. And when this hormone is produced, your milk is also produced more. Because if you don't know, and if I haven't addressed it in this video already, if you have high stress level, your milk production will decrease. If you are happy, your milk production will also increase. So how much irony it is that your milk is not coming, so you're getting stressed, and because of the same reason your milk is decreasing even more. But if you feel happy, and if you feel satisfied, and if you feel calm, your milk production will also increase, right? So having skin to skin is so important because of the hormones it produces in your body, and with that hormone your milk production also increases. And not only that, your baby is feels more connected to you, and that way he gets on to latching also really quickly. His latch is also good. He gets full also really quickly, because then he's more close to you and he knows like this is where I'm going to get my food and this is where I will get my tummy filled and everything, right? So he will understand all the patterns. So skin to skin is extremely important. Do tons of skin to skin. I would do like 2 to 3 skin to skin each day, even though it was winters or inside the house. At least it's no, it's warm here, but still it was cold inside the house, but still I would do, because it's so important, right? So do lots of skin to skin. It will produce more milk and it will keep you calm and happy as well. So this is what I have for you right now. I wish I knew all of these points in my initial breastfeeding journey, and life would have been so simpler then. But anyway, I'm glad I'm filming this whole video for you. But if you want to know my experience of pumping and why I switched to breastfeeding completely, even though I plan to be an exclusive pumper, and everything about pumping, make sure you subscribe to this channel and like this video. And if you found value in this video, please also like and give me a comment below of what were your best takeaways, or the wish that you, or the things you wish you knew that I haven't addressed, or maybe I haven't experienced, and maybe someone else can take value from this video and from the comment section below. I will see you in next video very soon. Bye everyone, take care and have a great day.